We tested LM7, LQ4, and L86 at 200,000 miles. One had 4 collapsed lifters, another still showed factory hone marks. The top two finished within a hair of each other. The L86 is the 6.2-liter Gen 5 engine that powered the Denali and Yukon Denali trim trucks from 2014 through 2018. On paper, it looks like the king. 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, direct injection, aluminum block, aluminum heads, the most advanced GMC gas V8 of its era. On the teardown bench at 200,000 miles, it told a very different story. We started with a compression test before pulling the heads. 2 cylinders measured 10 to 15% below factory spec. That's not catastrophic, but it's the first warning sign on an engine that should still be near factory numbers at this mileage on a proper maintenance schedule. Then, we pulled the valve covers. 4 AFM lifters showed clear signs of collapse, meaning the internal locking pin mechanism had started to fail. AFM, or active fuel management, shuts down 4 of the 8 cylinders under light load to save fuel. The lifters on those 4 cylinders are the weak link in the entire architecture. By 150,000 miles, this engine was already showing the wear pattern that predicts catastrophic failure. By 200,000 miles, 4 of them were on the edge. The camshaft told the same story. Visible scoring and lobe wear on cylinders 1, 4, 6, and 7. The AFM cylinders, not the non-AFM cylinders. The wear pattern is architectural. It's not abuse. It's not bad oil. It's the design itself. Then we got to the intake valves. Heavy carbon buildup, thick, crusty deposits coating the backside of every intake valve. This is the direct injection problem. In a DI engine, fuel sprays directly into the cylinder, not across the back of the valve like a port injection engine. There's no fuel washing the valve clean. By 80,000 miles, most DI GMC engines need walnut blasting to clean the valves. By 200,000 miles, this engine had carbon deposits thick enough to measurably reduce airflow. Carbon deposits this thick reduce intake airflow by an estimated 8 to 12% at high engine load. The engine is effectively running with restricted breathing, making less power per gallon of fuel burned and working harder to make the power it does produce. Owners report fuel economy drops of 1 to 2 miles per gallon by 150,000 miles on untreated DI engines, and the cause is exactly this carbon accumulation. The aluminum block showed light scoring on 2-cylinder walls, likely from microscopic lifter debris circulating through the oil system. Oil analysis confirmed it. Elevated iron, elevated copper. The bearings were starting to give up. The verdict on the L86 at 200,000 miles: this engine is on borrowed time. Average documented life expectancy on the L86 platform runs 175,000 to 225,000 miles before major failure. When it fails, the repair cost runs $15,000 to $25,000 for a full engine replacement based on GM Technical Service Bulletin data and dealer quotes pulled from owner forums. And here's the kicker. A $240 range technology AFM disabler installed at delivery would have prevented most of the lifter wear we documented. The architecture is fixable, but the factory ships it broken. The math on AFM cycling explains why this happens. At highway cruise, an L86 can transition between 8-cylinder mode and 4-cylinder mode hundreds of times per hour. Each transition requires the hydraulic lifter to mechanically lock or unlock under full oil pressure. Over 150,000 miles, a single AFM lifter accumulates well into the millions of these high-pressure cycles. The locking pin is a precision component machined to thousandths of an inch tolerance. No precision component built to that tolerance survives that kind of cumulative cycling load without wear. The failure isn't a defect. It's the inevitable consequence of asking a hydraulic lifter to do something it was never originally designed to do. That's the contrast point. Now let's look at what peak engineering actually looks like. The LM7 is the 5.3-liter Gen 3 engine that powered GMC trucks from 1999 through 2007. Iron block, aluminum heads, port fuel injection, 0 AFM, 0 DFM, 270 horsepower, 315 pound-feet of torque. On paper, it looks ancient. On the teardown bench, it looked almost new. Compression test first. All 8 cylinders measured within 5% of factory spec. Not one outlier, not one weak cylinder. At 200,000 miles, this engine was running exactly as designed. Valve covers off. All 16 lifters in normal condition. No collapse signs, no abnormal wear. The lifters in this engine are simple hydraulic units with no AFM mechanism. Nothing to fail, nothing to collapse, nothing to grenade the cam. Just lifters doing their job. The camshaft showed minimal wear. Lobe heights measured within factory tolerance across all 16 lobes. No scoring, no pitting. The cam looked like it had another 200,000 miles of service ahead of it. Then we pulled an intake valve to inspect. Clean, visibly clean. Port fuel injection sprays fuel across the back of the valve on every intake stroke, and that fuel wash keeps carbon from building up. There's no walnut blasting required at any mileage on a port injection LS engine. The architecture solved the carbon problem 25 years ago. The iron block was the surprise. Cylinder hone marks still visible. The crosshatch pattern from the factory machining process was still readable on all 8 cylinders at 200,000 miles. That's how little wear had occurred. Iron is harder than aluminum, holds oil better in the cylinder walls, and resists scoring under heat cycling. The block was effectively new on the inside. Oil analysis confirmed it. Trace iron levels, minimal copper, lead and aluminum levels well within normal range. The bearings were not stressed. The internals were not stressed. This engine had been doing its job for 200,000 miles and was ready to do it for another 200,000. Forum documentation backs this up. The LM7 is the most documented 400,000-mile-plus engine on the Everything GMC channel comments. Owners report routine service past 400,000 miles on original internals. Some report past 500,000. The replacement cost, if you ever do need a used long block, runs $2,000 to $2,500. The cheapest engine swap in the GMC gas truck lineup. Aftermarket parts availability is effectively infinite. Comments from this channel alone document real-world examples. One owner posted a 475,000-mile original LR448, which shares the same architecture. Another posted a 388,000-mile 6.0 on the HD platform. These are not outliers. They are the documented pattern when the engine is given basic care. 5,000-mile oil intervals, Dexos-approved oil, and timing chain replacement somewhere past 200,000 miles. No exotic maintenance, no proprietary procedures, no dealer-only tooling. Just basic mechanical care applied consistently. The verdict on the LM7, peak GMC port injection engineering. This engine deserves every bit of its legendary reputation. It's the engine that built the modern GMC truck following. It's accessible, affordable, simple to service, and proven past 400,000 miles in the wild. So how does anything beat it? That's where the test gets interesting. If you own a GMC with the 5.3 or 6.0A, hit subscribe right now and turn on the bell. We tear down a different GMC engine, transmission, or system every week. And the next teardown is one your dealer absolutely does not want you to see. The LQ4 is the 6.0-liter Gen 3 engine that powered the GMC HD platform from 1999 through 2007. Iron block. Iron heads on the early years from 99 through 2000, aluminum heads from 2001 onward. Port fuel injection, 0 AFM, 0 DFM, 300 to 325 horsepower depending on year, 360 to 380 pound-feet of torque. Heavy-duty platform internals. This engine lived in 2500 and 3500 series trucks. Yukon XL HD, Suburban 2500. Commercial fleet rigs that pulled trailers and hauled materials for a living. It was never marketed as the glamorous engine. It was marketed as the work engine. On the teardown bench, it edged out the LM7 by a hair. Compression test first. All 8 cylinders within 4% of factory spec. 1 point tighter than the LM7. Not a meaningful difference for daily driving, but a measurable difference on the bench. All 16 lifters showed normal wear. Same as the LM7, the cam looked excellent. Same minimal wear pattern, same factory lobe profile preserved across all 16 lobes. Intake valves clean. Same port injection advantage as the LM7. No carbon buildup, no walnut blasting required. Here's where it got interesting. The iron block on the LQ4 showed even less cylinder wall wear than the LM7 at the same mileage. The hone marks were not just visible, they were sharp. The math behind this is simple. The LQ4 displaces 6.0 liters, the LM7 displaces 5.3 liters. To make a given horsepower output, each cylinder in the LQ4 works less hard than each cylinder in the LM7. Lower stress per cubic centimeter of displacement equals lower wear over time. Then the rotating assembly. The LQ4 crankshaft is heavier than the LM7 crankshaft. The main bearings are HD spec. The rod bearings are HD spec. Everything in the bottom end was designed for commercial fleet work, heavier, beefier, built to take abuse that a light-duty 5.3 was never engineered for. Both engines share the same forged powder metal connecting rods. That's not where LQ4 wins. The win comes from the displacement advantage compounding through the entire rotating assembly. Pistons engineered for higher cylinder pressures than the LM7 was rated for. A heavier crankshaft with more rotational inertia. The whole bottom end engineered for sustained heavy load, exactly the use case that destroys lighter-duty engines over time. The HD application difference is where it shows. In the standard half-ton truck pan, both engines run 6 quarts, but many LQ4 trucks rolled off the line with the heavy-duty platform configuration. Deeper oil pan, extra capacity in the system, and an integrated oil cooler on diesel prep packages. That extra thermal margin under sustained tow or hot weather operation translates directly to longer bearing life over the long haul. The LM7 half-ton chassis rarely got that hardware. The LQ4 often did. Oil analysis confirmed everything. The LQ4 oil sample came back even cleaner than the LM7 sample. Less iron, less copper, less metal of any kind. The internals were under less stress, and the data showed it. The verdict on the LQ4, when HD spec internals, iron heads on the early years, and 7-quart oil capacity stack on top of the same Gen 3 architecture as the LM7, you get the most durable gas truck engine GMC ever made. Commercial fleet operators have documented LQ4 engines past 500,000 miles, some past 600,000. The engine is so overbuilt for daily light-duty use that it barely notices the work. Replacement cost. If you ever need one, runs $3,500 to $4,500 for a used long block. More expensive than the LM7, but still cheap by any modern standard. There's a quiet market for clean LQ4 chassis that almost nobody outside the fleet world talks about. Plumbers to electricians, landscapers, and small construction contractors actively seek out LQ4 trucks because the engine outlives the chassis it sits in. A 20-year-old GMC HD with an LQ4 and rust spots on the bed will sell faster than a 5-year-old half-ton with a fresh L84. Fleet buyers know that a clean LQ4 with 200,000 miles still has more useful life ahead of it than a Gen 5 engine with 100,000 miles. The market votes with cash. The Teardown bench just confirmed why. So here's the narrow margin. The LQ4 wins, but it wins by a hair, not by a mile. What separates them? Iron heads on the early LQ4 years, 7-quart oil capacity versus 6, HD spec internals versus light-duty spec, larger displacement reducing stress per cylinder, and documented fleet history past 600,000 miles. What unites them? Same Gen 3 iron block architecture, same port fuel injection, 0 AFM, 0 DFM, same legendary serviceability, same effectively infinite aftermarket support, same proven longevity past 400,000 miles in the wild. The LM7 has its own advantages. It's cheaper to buy used. It gets better fuel economy because of the smaller displacement. It's lighter, which means it works better in the half-ton trucks it was designed for. There are more of them in junkyards, which means easier replacement. The aftermarket is larger because the engine is more common. If you own an LM753, you do not own a loser. You own the engine that finishes a strong second to an HD platform engine designed for commercial work. Your engine deserves its reputation. Your engine will run past 400,000 miles if you take care of it. The LQ4 edges you out only because it was built to take more abuse than a light-duty truck will ever throw at it. Here's the bigger lesson the Teardown taught us. The LM7 and the LQ4 are both Gen 3 engines, both iron block, both port injection, both 0 AFM. Both came out of the factory between 1999 and 2007. The L86 is 12 years newer than the youngest Gen 3. It has more horsepower on paper. It has more torque on paper. It uses direct injection, newer technology. It uses an aluminum block, lighter material. And it lost the test by a wide margin. Not by a hair, by a chasm. Modern does not equal better. Newer does not equal more durable. More horsepower on paper does not equal more miles in the wild. The peak GMC truck engine design is not the most recent design. The peak GMC truck engine design is the Gen 3 LS family, built between 1999 and 2007. This same architectural advantage extends down to the LR4 8-liter Gen 3. Same iron block, same port injection, same 0 AFM design. Comments from this channel document an LR4 crossing 475,000 miles on original internals. Different displacement, same engineering philosophy, same result. The Gen 3 iron block family is bulletproof, regardless of which displacement variant rolled off the assembly line. The replacement Gen 4 family, LM7 L8660, introduced AFM. The Gen 5 family, L8453, L8662, L8762, stacked direct injection and DFM on top of the AFM problem. Each generation added complexity. Each generation added failure modes. None of them surpassed the Gen 3 iron block design for raw durability. Commercial fleet operators figured this out years ago. They specifically seek out LQ4 trucks for buy and hold use because the engine outlasts the chassis. They will pay a premium for a clean LQ4 chassis. They know what the Teardown bench just confirmed. Remember the top? One engine had 4 collapsed lifters, one still showed factory hone marks, and the top 2 finished within a hair of each other. Now, you know exactly which engine grenaded itself by 200,000 miles, which engine finished a strong second, and which engine edged out the win on HD spec internals and 7 quarts of oil. The LQ4 wins by a hair. The LM7 deserves every ounce of its reputation. The L86 proves architecture matters more than displacement, year, or marketing. Go watch our video on the only 3 GMC engines that last 300,000 miles, or the one on how smart mechanics bypass GMC dealers with the AFM delete loophole. Both stack directly on what you just learned. See you in the next one.